Main Road stuffed to the seams for the 87th League derby between Manchester City and Manchester United. Crowds attracted here above all by the attacking skills of these two sides. To see players like Francis Lee back on form with 2 goals against Everton last week. To see players like Ted McDougall, who was also among the scorers last week. To see forwards like Colin Bell, scorer of England's only goal against Wales on Wednesday, and forwards like Wyn Davies, the Welsh forward, today changing shirts to play his first derby game in the colours of Manchester United. A quick check on the two sides shows Manchester City virtually at full strength. Their only missing player really is Tommy Booth, their centre-half, whose injury hasn't responded as well as they'd hoped, but Colin Barrett, who played so well against Everton last week, keeps his place. Carradus is sub, and the Manchester United side lines up with Brian Kidd in the number 12 shirt, and theirs is the side which won against Liverpool and really set a cat among the pigeons last week. And in the United goal, one of the veterans of this series now, Alex Stepney. John Homewood from Sunbury-on-Thames is the referee and sets in motion the Reds against the Blues of Manchester. If you're watching in black and white, Manchester United in the darker shirts, kicking from left to right. So little over the years between these two teams. In the 87 games, United have won 4 more matches, City have scored 6 more goals. This is Bobby Charlton to take the first throw-in of the game for United. Colin Bell for City. Summerby making a good break. The ball with Lee. Buchan harassing him. Bell. And Lee. And now Doyle. Tony Book waiting on the far touchline. Bell has gone into the middle. Fast doesn't meet him. And Buchan cuts out. Barrett with his arms over Wyn Davies' shoulder, but no foul, says the referee, but that was offside. Alex Stepney. Tommy O'Neill's ball for McDougall, another of the newcomers to derby football in Manchester. And McDougall penalised for a foul on Jeffries. And Mr. Homewood is going to have it taken from the right place after he's had a word with McDougall. Willie Donachie. Marsh. Straight to Bell, now Doyle. Towers going diagonally left of him, and out there is Marsh. He dummied Sadler into expecting the cross, and Sadler gave away the corner. So Summerby to take it, but Lee just beside him. That's pulled Buchan out of the middle. Doyle getting up, but he didn't meet it. And it's in! A mistake by Stepney and a goal by Bell. Colin Bell the scorer as the ball came over from Summerby's corner. Doyle goes for the header. The ball goes straight up in the air, straight through the arms of Stepney, and Bell is on the spot poaching. Colin Bell's 4th goal of the season for Manchester City, and he's having a good week. picked one up for England that was worth 2 points in the World Cup game against Wales, and now sets City on the right road here. Lee, and one that Stepney will be very pleased to hold. Best. Intercepted easily by Bell. Again an interception by Barrett. Chances are United are not often going to win this ball in the middle of the park, and they really can't afford to give it away any more than Colin Bell can afford to protest very much more to Mr. Homewood. That's the second caution he's had, and the next time will surely mean a booking. Good header by Davis, and a good save by Corrigan with McDougall coming in. Jeffries to Doyle. Book. Bell. And a gap for him. Alex Stepney will have been pleased to see that go past the post. Bell bursting through the gap just as he did against Wales, and just missing the post. Barrett. Extraordinary decision there. It looked to me as though Barrett was pushed off balance by Davis and still got the header in. But Mr. Homewood, who was close to it, saw it the other way and gave the free kick to Manchester United. Buchan's free kick. And a corner. It's a goal kick. Towers. It's a throw to Manchester United. Willie Morgan to McDougall. Lee. Clever play by Lee. And he's furious with O'Neill. There'll be trouble here. Very good work by Doyle to get in and keep him quiet. But a nasty foul by O'Neill that started it all, and Doyle is now sorting that out too. There's Pardo. And the stretcher has been brought for Lee, who's being carried off. The sub incidentally is Carolus, I'm sorry, not Glyn Pardo. So what has already been a pretty edgy derby game is given a flame to the tinder with the disappearance of Francis Lee. But for the moment, no Frank Carolus, 10 men for Manchester City, no booking for O'Neill. Doyle with the free kick. Safe catch by Stepney. But there must have been a linesman's flag for offside. They've been called back. Marsh and Sadler together. Sadler wins, but only giving the ball to Towers. Slipped through to Summerby. Marsh tried to play it back out for Summerby. And it's a goal kick. Charlton. Long ball for Dunn. Put out for a corner by Book. Second United corner. Ian Moore to take it. Sadler there in the penalty area. Corrigan trying to snatch it off the head of McDougall, and he was fouled as he went up. Lofted on for Marsh. Got Buchan to beat. He's got Towers available. Summerby there in the box. Down he goes, but no penalty. A goal kick has been given. Mr. Homewood's decision certainly mystifying and angering some of the players. Doyle. Offside. Colin Bell, certainly offside there. And now we shall have Manchester City back at full strength, but not before Colin Bell has been booked. That's the third time he's protested about a decision. Colin Bell goes into the book. Francis Lee waits to come back on. And the cheer greets the return of Francis Lee. Barrett. Bell. Bell's strength and pace carrying him through. Tremendous run by Bell. Taps at Buchan's heels, the advantage played, and after half an hour, still 1-0 to Manchester City. Good work by Donachie. Push in the back by Donachie on McDougall. Morgan with the throw. Best. Linesman's flag was up on the far side. Marsh to Lee. Tars playing it on for Marsh to chase, but Buchan gets it back to Stepney. Morgan. McDougall slipped when for once he might have made something of it, but in fact he wouldn't, he would have been offside. Offside against Marsh, who hadn't got back from the previous incident. This game really can have had very few passages when we've had 30 seconds of consecutive play. Morgan. Doyle. Towers. Rodney Marsh. On for Summerby. He's beaten the tackle, and he's beaten another man, and that's for Lee. Great save, marvellous play by City. They're claiming it went over the line. Didn't look like it from here, but they down there clearly thought so. Superb move. Best. Doyle. Now Towers. Charlton. Willie Morgan beats Towers. Body check by Doyle. Referee having a word with the trainers. Summerby. They took the free kick. I was really wondering where Mr. Homewood was. I'd seen him go to the trainers, and they decided to get on with the game without him. So the free kick will be taken again. Jeffries. Book. Jeffries going on. Bell going into the middle to join Marsh. Marsh tucked it for Jeffries, who didn't run. The back four man who didn't know the ways of the front men. Went out of play. It's a Manchester City throw. Bell, Marsh, Summerby. On to Doyle. All the time City aiming to get into that penalty area. Touched away by Towers to Summerby. So we're now past the 45 minutes in this first half. Davis. Barrett stepping in. O'Neill still the villain in the eyes of some of the crowd. Best. Now Barrett playing it into the gap for Bell to chase, but the gap wasn't quite that big. Charlton. Bobby Charlton with McDougall going through the middle. Jeffries at his side, and Jeffries wins. Davis. Chip forward by Morgan. Moore, but he was offside. The header from McDougall made him offside. Dunn with his hands in Somerby's back. Free kick to Manchester City. Tony Book, Marsh, Somerby. Testing Stepney, but the ball dropping behind the bar. Towers' header, and with a little bit more than 2 minutes of injury time played, Mr. Homewood brings to an end a very unsatisfactory first half, in which Manchester City go in deserved leaders, because what attacking football there has been has certainly come from them. They've looked sharper and quicker thinking. Colin Bell, their best player, has been the scorer of the only goal. And so they go in with this half-time scoreline: Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0. And so we begin what is devoutly to be hoped is going to be a better second half than the first, with Manchester City leading by 1-0. Dunn. Manchester City with a good record at home recently. 6 wins and a draw in their last 7 games. And they've scored 4 goals in each of the last 2. O'Neill to Sadler. Martin Buchan. Corrigan coming to help Barrett. Buchan climbing on Marsh's shoulders. Doyle to take the free kick. Doesn't look to be a great deal on for him. 3 men in the box. Stepney hesitated. And O'Neill is down. Something must have happened there off the ball. Stepney now with the free kick. Doyle is knocking it back for Donachie. Davis out for McDougall to chase. Now George Best. Barged in the back by Towers. Sadler up in the penalty area for Manchester United for this free kick. Best takes it, and Bell gets it away to Summerby and immediately breaks in support. Marsh to and Lee takes it on and puts it over the top. Manchester City so fast on those breaks, as they showed at Goodison Park last week, and all that was lacking there was the finishing. O'Neill for Davis. Barrett's foot up dangerously high around the collarbone. Corrigan coming for the punch and missing. Off the line by Barrett. What a very good save by the young boy. Davis given the goal to head at, and Barrett, with the opportunity to head it back out into trouble, very calmly nodded it over the top. Charlton. Davis's header, and it's out for a goal kick. Very smart flick on by Marsh. Towers giving it to Lee. And here come the support troops. Marsh among them. Lee, Doyle is there. City have got a lot of men forward now. And Doyle has lost the ball. Chance for United to show whether they can break quickly. Can't pass accurately enough to make it tell. Towers. Marsh would have approved of that back heel. Towers, and Marsh was fouled by O'Neill, or by Morgan. And Morgan is going to be booked. So that's the second booking of the game. Morgan joining Bell. Tony Towers waiting to take the kick. Four men lined to meet the cross. Doyle couldn't make it, Dunn got it away. Moore. Best. Morgan. Davis meeting it, Best. McDougall! Great save by Corrigan. And anyway, McDougall was offside. But that's certainly a move in a different class from anything else we've seen from Manchester United in most of an hour. Back header by Marsh. Sadler to the rescue for United. And penalised for a foul on Summerby. And in fact, the free kick has been given against Summerby for Manchester United. David Sadler to take it. Book. Tony, Book and Moore. Off Book for a United throw. Dunn. Wyn Davis turned away by Lee into the path of Bell. Summerby offside. O'Neill's high ball forward, Davis's header. Moore. Good work by Moore for Charlton, and out comes the defence to try and catch them offside. Moore takes over, and there's an appeal for a penalty, which the referee will not have, and he's given a corner. Corrigan's ball. Well, that was a free kick to Manchester United. I don't pretend to know what for. One for Summerby to chase and keep in play. Lee. Now. It's as good a chance as he's had, and he knows it. Summerby, Buchan for United, Dougal's header, Doyle for City, Jeffries. Brian Kidd, the Manchester United substitute, warming up. Morgan. Lee. Francis Lee. And a throw to Manchester City with a quarter of an hour to go. But in the meanwhile, we're going to have a substitution for Manchester United. Mr. Homewood coming across. And it looks as though it's going to be Willie Morgan coming off. But Mr. Homewood, very strict on these small matters, not wanting Kidd to come on until he's been beckoned on. And so Brian Kidd, who played in both the League Cup games against Bristol Rovers, plays his first league game since he came on a sub against Wolves 2 months ago. Towers aimed for Marsh, cut out by Sadler. Charlton. Ian Moore. O'Neill winning it. Best, and Moore free on the left. Up goes McDougall, but Barrett beat him to it. Or did he? No, he certainly didn't make the last contact because the decision is a goal kick. Summerby fouled by Dunn from behind. And the referee angry with Dunn because Dunn has picked up the ball, and quite right too. Marsh completely away from Sadler. To Bell. And it's an own goal by Buchan. Manchester United complete their own misery, but I think we can give the credit to Bell and to Manchester City. They'd already opened them up, but Stepney had no chance as Buchan came across his line and deflected the ball the other way. The shot might have gone wide, Stepney might have saved it. Buchan certainly gave him no chance. But the trouble had been much earlier when Manchester City had completely opened up the United defence. 2-0 now. Kidd. Book turning it back. Barrett calling out Corrigan. Summerby off on a chase here with Dunn. Back header by Kidd. Davis up in the air. Kidd again. Summerby and Dunn chasing this. It's a Manchester City ball, and Dunn, having been kicked off for hanging on to the ball from a free kick, now kicks it away when it should be a City throw. Gets another little word from Mr. Homewood. Marsh looking for another corner and getting it like shelling peas. Summerby to Marsh. Gonna have another one. Marsh trying to go through the gap and is obstructed. Five minutes to go. Summerby. Book. And that's dangerous. Bell. In! Yet another mistake in the United defence to complete the most miserable of afternoons for them. And Bell makes it tell. Book cuts in. The ball now is safe, but a terrible back pass by Dunn. And a fine shot from Bell from the narrowest of angles. His second goal of the game. And Manchester City have it all wrapped up. Well, they've certainly been the better side throughout the game. And this scoreline begins to reflect the margin of that superiority and to show what they might have done if these two teams had settled down just to play football. The crowd, who had 4 goals in each of the last 2 home games, chanting for 4 in this one. But only a matter of minutes left now. Francis Lee very unlucky, hit on the back by the ball. Best, Moore away on the left. And getting past the 2 tacklers, he had to push the ball away, and Doyle got in. Summerby. And no injury time played at all in this second half. Mr. Homewood brings to an end a game which Manchester City have deservedly won by 3-0. Colin Bell, absolutely the man of the match, scorer of 2 goals, the man who led Manchester City's domination of the middle of the park. The other goal, an own goal by Buchan. The first half, a sorry story of fouls and stops and starts. 19 fouls penalised by Manchester City and 16 by Manchester United. But there we are. We shall, in the end, perhaps remember the goals, which give us this scoreline: Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. Well, it is a fact that some games look a lot different down at pitch level from the way that they look from our position up above there. And it may be that Mr. Homewood down on the pitch was seeing it differently from the way it appeared to me. My feeling was that the first half could have done with a lot more football and a lot less apparent attempts by certain players to settle personal feuds. There were a few knocks early on, and that seemed to upset the whole of the first half. If they'd settled down to play football, one can't help feeling that Manchester City might have won a lot more clearly than they did. They were so much the better side. Colin Bell, I thought, played as well as I've ever seen him, and clearly is in magnificent form at the moment. They've now taken 9 points from their last 5 games, Manchester City, and their troubles are well behind them. For Manchester United, well, another setback after that recovery against Liverpool last week, and the question marks for them clearly remain. That's our news anyway from Main Road. We're now going to see the highlights of another First Division game, match played in London at Selhurst Park between Crystal Palace and Leeds United. The pictures come from London Weekend Television, and the commentator is Brian Moore.
Hunter winning that one in the air. Clark having a tussle there with Payne. Hughes coming back to pass to Noel Blythe. Rogers to Mulligan. Hooker's gone spurting through the middle as well. Craven is right there, and there's nobody quite as wide as that other than Reedy. Lorimer. 1 against 1. Bell versus Jones. Bobby Bell. And now Tony Taylor. Well, Taylor a little fortunate there, and in fact, I suppose what you'd call a professional foul in pulling Lorimer back. Bob Matthewson, the referee, making it clear to Taylor that he wants no more of it. Lorimer again now, with Giles going down the right. The little chip there towards Mick Jones, getting up, and a goal! No, disallowed. Disallowed by by Bob Matthewson because Jones was pushing down on the Crystal Palace defender. Hunter, in fact, sticking very close to Elam in that back four. I suppose Leeds may be just a little unsure still of Roy Elam, the man they bought from Huddersfield to replace Jack Charlton, but it's Lorimer now for Leeds. Bremner being forced back by the eagerness of Crystal Palace there, but a beautiful piece of turning again by Bremner that found Giles, then on to Lorimer, and now to Reaney. Past Cook to Clark. Bremner. Leeds so dominant at the moment, and a lot of space there for Giles. Clark making a run, Jones is in there, Bates is in there. Nodded back by Bates for Bremner. But a poor one by him to Cook. And now to Hughes. Forward into the space there for Rogers. Can he get it? No. Craven, can he? Yes, he can. Craven. Oh, goal! Oh, a wonderful goal by John Craven. Rogers certainly had a part in it. And Craven, who looked for a moment as though he'd lost it, picked himself up with such agility and hammered it into the roof of the net. 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Giles, and just over that bar. Well, Jackson was behind it. Bell wasn't sure that he was, got his head in the way, and the deflection might have caused Jackson a problem or two. Instead, it's a corner. Lorimer once more to take it. Jones to wait for it. Bell is in there too. A deeper one this time towards Elam. Giles hitting it first time against the post, and somehow they scrambled that away, with Leeds having none of the luck there. Rogers letting it go over his head, in fact, and now Mulligan to pick up the loose one. Past Hunter, inside to Payne, inside to Cook. And the crowd really getting behind this Crystal Palace side, relieved as they must have been that Giles' shot hit the post. And now Payne. And now Craven! Yes, another goal! John Craven! And the crowd have gone crazy because it's not often at Selhurst Park that they've seen moments like this. Hughes was right in there. Payne only half hit his shot. And Craven finished it off.
Well, Crystal Palace, with Don Rogers, their new signing from Swindon, seeming perhaps to be the last link they needed, certainly showing some form over the last 2 or 3 matches, and now Leeds on the receiving end. But Leeds never a side to lie down. Let's go back and see what happened in the second half.
Leeds beginning to pile more and more men forward now, prepared to take a few risks in order to put even greater pressure on Crystal Palace and hope to get back in this game. Lorimer. Jones, again making one of those unselfish runs, and it might lead the way open for Clark. No, it's for Jones! Yes, and he made no mistake. And that's a reward for some very unselfish running right through this game by Mick Jones. And as that ball came loose to him, left foot, bang, 2-1. Reaney. Lorimer. Giving Blythe a bit of a tussle there. And that might be very difficult indeed for Jackson. It's Mulligan. Oh, leaving it to Cook and Mulligan. Getting in a mix-up there. And Leeds get a corner. Palace didn't entirely agree with it. But it was a punishment for Cook and Mulligan mixing themselves up as they did. And it's going to be Mick Bates to take it. And Hunter again right in there. Cherry, too, and Clark. Jones in the 6-yard area. That's the man it's aimed for, Jones, and Jackson fisting it away. Cook taking too long to get it away. Giles. And a goal! Scored by Johnny Giles.
So once again, Leeds United show that fighting spirit and resilience, a team that will never give up until the final whistle, coming away from Selhurst Park with a point after being 2-0 down at half-time. 2-2 then between Crystal Palace and Leeds. Brian Moore was the commentator there. The pictures, directed by Bob Gardam, came from London Weekend Television. That's all we have for you this Sunday. I hope you'll join us again next Sunday afternoon at 2. Till then, goodbye.